In 2018, I started a 3-year-long journey that was accompanied by a very important set of books, The Hunger Games. At the time, I was at university, and while I was studying, growing up, and trying to find my place in the world, The Hunger Games books were right there with me. Each book in the series was released roughly 1 year apart, and each one marked a new step on my personal journey. Throughout these 3 years, I laughed, cried, and developed what felt like me to be relationships with the characters within these books. And then it ended. When I turned the last page in the last book, I felt like something was missing, like I'd lost something quite important. I felt empty. This experience wasn't just reserved for such a special occasion though. This feeling of emptiness has popped up time and time again when I finished a really good book or series of books. And what's more, I know I'm not alone in this. I know you felt it too. This phenomenon is when a reader finishes a book and can't stop thinking about the fictional world or characters within the book. The story is over, so the reader may feel a sense of loss. They miss the things within the book, even if they're fictional. Some may call it a book hangover, and some may call it post-series depression, but no matter what you call it or how intensely you feel it, it is pretty common. But why? When you read a book, something happens called emotional transportation. Emotional transportation is when all of your mental energy is solely focused on things happening within the book. You are literally transported into this other world through your mind. You may lose track of time, react slowly to things going on around you, or lose self-awareness. When this happens, your mind isn't seeing the story as fiction, it's seeing it as real. So it's no wonder we feel so attached to these characters and worlds, because to our minds, they're real. Because we spend so much time immersed in these worlds, simply because the time it takes to read a book is quite long, it's no wonder that these connections with the characters in the world get stronger and stronger the more we read. When reading a book compared to, say, watching a TV series or film, you spend a lot more time inside the mind of the main characters. Your emotional connection to them is stronger because you know what they're thinking and feeling throughout their journey. In some cases, you may not even consciously realize how much you relate to the characters or care about them. So when the story then ends, you feel like you've lost a friend. You're cut off from the rest of their life when all you really want to do is keep living it with them. To see what happens next. You want to see them grow old, see their relationships change, be there for the mundane stuff, all of it. In my case, Katniss and Co were there throughout my educational journey. They gave me a sense of joy when I was stressed, and they helped me connect to other people through the shared interests of reading these books. And then once it's over and you start to process your feeling of emptiness, the illusion the book presented to you starts to fall apart. You start to rationalize your feelings and remind yourself that the characters in the book were fiction and not real. But your rational mind and your subconscious mind are completely different things. Your rational mind will tell you that the characters within the book were fiction, so you should move on and stop being so emotional about it. But your subconscious mind will remember all the relationships you developed with these characters throughout reading the books. These two things battling each other within your mind can make recovering from that empty feeling really quite difficult. Aside from developing relationships with the characters within the books, you may also need some time to kind of reflect on the themes within the book. Incredibly immersive fiction books can pull you into the world and help you experience something you may not have experienced before. All the characters may go through trauma or changes that end up having a lasting impact on you as a reader. All the themes within the book force you to reflect on your own life, for better or worse. If this is the case, you may just need a little bit of time to reflect on these things and how they impact your life in reality, not in fiction. And that's okay. Or you might simply want more when it's over. Essentially, you're not done. This might have nothing to do with the relationship you've developed with your characters or any emotional trauma you may have experienced. It might be that you just really love the author's writing. If you've been reading a series for a while or binged it because it was that good, you may feel a weird sense of being addicted to the author's writing and you don't want it to end. We've all felt this. The writing is so amazing that we don't feel like anything is ever going to match up to it ever again. So once we finish the book, we feel pretty empty. This can even happen when a series isn't finished, but you have to wait for the next book. After reading Gideon and Harrow the Ninth, I was itching for more The Locked Tomb, because the writing was just that good. Most of the time, if it's the author's writing that you love, not even fan fiction can scratch that itch. So with all of these reasons together, how exactly do you mourn the loss of people who didn't even exist in the first place? How do you move on when you don't feel a sense of closure or you simply want more? Well, the truth is there is no easy answer, but there are a few things we can try. Rereading the series again may help. Even if you don't experience it in the same way as you did originally, you might spot things you didn't see before or relate to the characters in new ways now time has passed. Or move on to another book. Even if it feels hard, forcing yourself to move on may help you, well, move on. Either that or read some fanfiction or a spin-off or a retelling or something. If you really loved a series, then you can bet there are other people that really loved it too, and other people who will write about it to keep the series alive. Or share the series with a friend. While you may not be able to relive your first experiences, you can watch someone else do it. Seeing the joy they get from your favorite read feels so good. Or just sit with it. Some people may not understand, but you are grieving, and grieving takes time. And then when you're ready, you can pick up a book, start reading a new series, and the cycle begins again. What was the last book that you read that made you have this empty feeling? I would love to know, so leave me a comment. And if you like other bookish thoughts videos like this one, check out this one below to watch next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.